Hello, 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 hello! Yay! Welcome, 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 welcome. So excited to be here today to talk about Tear Talk. The official release is now. Yay! The official release is now. So I just wanted to invite everyone on. Thank you all so much for joining. Already releasing the heart, sharing with your friends. It should be good. I hope not to take up your whole day. But I just wanted to give you all a little more insight and testimony and just share, the birthing of this baby. Writing books is like birthing a child. This was the quickest pregnancy ever. Considering the book was written in 3 days and it was produced within 3 weeks. But that's because it's bigger than me and it's something that was an urgency to be released. And I'm just humbled and honored to be a vessel which God can use. I'm thankful for my journey, which has led me to this point to now be able to help others. So I am just really excited. This is my second book that I've written and self-published, and I have a third one on the way. So these are exciting times. I'm so grateful that you all have joined me. Please share on your platform so other people can be aware. Good evening. Other people can be aware. Hey, Marshall, Miss Flowers. I'm just like really excited right now. So, we're going to talk about Tear Talk. So this is Tear Talk, and Tear Talk isn't a regular book. It's not a regular book. For those of you who are getting to know me, you've come to know that I love journaling and I love writing. And one of the assignments on my life is I'm an activator. I just activate people consistently in so many different ways. But in this season, I'm activating people with their pens and I'm activating people with their writing. I've been writing all my life. I actually went to the University of Florida and graduated from the College of Journalism and Communications. So writing has always been in my blood. I just never knew that it was a gift. I never knew it was a calling. I didn't know that I was a modern day scribe. That is something that I learned as my journey in life continued to progress. But I've always loved writing. And for me, I've actually received a lot of healing through my writing, because I found that we can have a lot of thoughts in our heads. We can have a lot of memories, but we don't really have, we don't always have outlets in order to express. And even when we have questions that come to mind, sometimes we just need to be able to get our thoughts out. And for me, journaling became that release valve. And I was actually able to receive a lot of healing, a lot of deliverance, got a lot of clarity, understanding, just so much power in the pen. And that's what helped me to write Tear Talk. This book is actually, it's a two-part. The first part of the book is a strong teaching on helping you to understand the power of the pen, but also helping you to understand the aspects of the heart. And one thing that I talk about in the book is the locked heart. And many of us are living, we're moving, we're breathing, we're functioning, but there's areas of our heart that have been locked. There's areas of our heart that are closed. And sometimes we're not even aware of it, but people can come into our lives, and when they try to get access to that part of our heart, they end up deep, deep, deep. There's a code there that you might not have been aware of. So I talk about that in this book. And I also talk about different ways that your heart can get locked, but also how your heart can get unlocked. So for those of you who are just joining, if you have not purchased Tear Talk, you can go to teartalkbook.com. You can purchase it as the paperback or the ebook, but I highly recommend that you purchase it as a paperback, and they will begin shipping early next week. So what I wanted to do was share with you all because I'm a poet. So most of my books, I think every book I write for the most part will have a poem in the book. So this book starts off with the poem as well. Let me show you. It starts off with the poem as well. And let me say this, I actually designed the cover of the book. And I designed the cover of my other book as well. So I'm actually going to be doing something to help others in their writing process and helping them to publish books as well. So I have a lot going on, but I'm excited just to be a vessel that has been able to learn so much to now be able to share it with other people. But this book launch, it's gonna have a couple of things in it. So first I'm gonna share some aspects of the book with you, and then I'm going to bring two people on to have them share how this book has impacted them, how the journaling webinars that I've done have impacted them. And then we're going to do a Q&A. So I hope that you guys like it. Please purchase the book. Encourage your friends to purchase the book. This book is for anyone and everyone, because all of us have something to write about. All of us have something to say. All of us have something to share. All of us have something that we can get off of our heart, or as they say, off of our chest. So let me first share with you the poem that I wrote for this book called Tear Talk. And it's actually, the full title is Tear Talk, a 90-day guide to healing through journaling. So this is the poem. Tear Talk. I've been confined. I've been held back. When my mission is to leak and flow while you think, write, and speak. I've been avoided. I've been denied. I've wanted to run, but instead I was forced to go and hide. I've been misunderstood. I've been made to bring shame, when my role is to help the soul and release the blame. Please let me flow. It will help you heal and grow. Please let me release. It will bring you so much joy and peace. Please let me go. It will help the true you shine and glow. Again, that is the introductory poem for the book Tear Talk. And just so I can share with you a little bit that you will learn in this book, you will learn the importance, again, of the condition of your heart and the locking and the unlocking process. You will also recognize and activate the power of questions. Sometimes as children, we can ask questions all the time. But when it comes to adults, when it comes to questions, a lot of times we shrink back from questions. We're not comfortable with questions. But I help you to recognize and also activate the power of questions. Also discover the truth and the purpose of tears. As you can see with the poem that I just shared, tears need to flow. Literally, for your health, they need to flow. There's so much power when you can find freedom of release. I talk about that in the book as well. I also talk about how discipline can bring freedom, healing, and clarity. For those of you who have been following me, you know I journal consistently. I actually have over 15 types of journals, and my whole life has been recorded from 2005 up to present day. And there is just so much power in the pen, and I've been able to discover that power. But when I was writing this book, it kind of came to me, sometimes people want to write, but they don't know what to write. And writing prompts many times can help. You know, you can ask one simple question, and you could be surprised how long you can write on that topic. Like, you got 4 pages, you know, from one simple question. When you first looked at the question, you didn't even think you didn't think it was relevant. You didn't think you even had anything to say about it. But once you put that pen to paper, my goodness, you just begin to flow and you find that you have so much to share and you have so much just to get out. So what I've done with this book, Tear Talk, is I have the first portion of the book is a very strong teaching, but the second portion of the book is actually 90 writing prompts. 90 writing prompts. So it gives you something to write about consistently for 3 months. And I personally believe that in doing the writing prompts, it's not just going to get you to flow in your writing. I personally believe it will do so much more. It can activate gifts and graces and abilities that are on the inside of you that you weren't even aware of. And I don't say that just to say it. I say it because I know it's true. And I know that it has happened to people. I actually have a group of people who have been going through the writing prompts for the whole month of March, and just the testimonies of people getting liberty, people getting freedom, people getting healing, people getting one testimony that I've received is some people have had questions for God for quite some time, and the journaling prompts have allowed them to get in a place of peace and quiet and actually get downloads and answers, and some people it's really brought them clarity, like, why did this happen to me? I don't understand. And just from journaling consistently, it's brought so much inner peace and it's brought so much clarity. So you know what? I don't want to just talk. Because there are people who can share, so you don't just have to hear me. So let me actually bring on a viewer so you can hear a testimony, and I'm bringing on Nydia Lopez. So you can hear the testimony of how Tear Talk has been a blessing to her. Give me one moment. I'm just going to bring her on. Just going to take a moment to bring her on. I thank you all so much for joining and sharing this live book launch of Tear Talk. We're going to bring her on shortly. For some reason, it's not allowing me to bring her on. Give me one moment. Let's see. Oh boy. So let us see. I had two that I was going to bring on so they could share. Thank you. Blessings to you, so they could share how Tear Talk has been a blessing to them. We may have to do this a little later in the broadcast.
Sorry, I was having a hard time. Hi, everybody.
Nydia?
I hope you all having a blessed day.
Hey! So Nydia has actually taken three of my webinars, and she's actually has the book Tear Talk. And I just wanted her to be able to share how it's impacted her life. So you can just share with the audience, Nydia, how Tear Talk and the journaling webinars have been an impact for you.
Yes, it's actually been something I could say something I experienced, something different, something awesome. Because like I will be one of the persons that will say, oh, I can pick up a pen and write, right? So yes, you can be started as a I started something that will hurt me a lot in life since like my childhood. So as I started writing about it, I just started floating and writing good stuff and bad stuff. And so as like maybe a week after I started writing, I started going back and reading what I wrote, and it started making sense of where the areas I needed healing in my life, which as my childhood, ask people for forgiveness, people that I even remember before to ask for forgiveness. And even though I don't have contact with them anymore, but I asked the Lord, please let them receive my forgiveness and let me receive theirs. And even in my marriage, has been a big impact, and even like in my children, as a wife, as a co-worker, because I always have a hard time dealing with these complicated people. And the Lord has shown me to show my love like the way he shows his love to me. So even though those people that try to give me a hard time at work, now since I've been journaling, and I said, Nydia, there's something wrong with that person. Maybe they need a word of comfort. So I started speaking to them like love in a love way. And now it's like, wow, I feel like they're my best friends. And now because I started getting healing, and it's all started during giving forgiveness. That's when I noticed when I started forgiving people, that's when there was a big breakthrough, a big healing this and process in my life. I have a lot of places, but it's been a lot of healing with like even my job, like my kids are even getting it because they're getting good reports about the teachers, and now like, oh, thank you Lord that it's you. If it wasn't because of like this webinar that helped me through my healing and this writing process, I start finding the areas where I need like, oh, I didn't know. I like when I started writing, I noticed that there was people that was letting people find my identity, but no one can get my identity, but God does, because He's the only one who knows me. Like even before I was in the womb to now, and He already knows my future before even I know it. So now I'm like, Lord, I'm ready to move forward. I will not look to my right. I will not look to my left, but I will start like just following you and seeking you more and be more hungry and thirst and be more humble and show more love instead, no more angry, no more hateness, no more bitterness, and plus a lot of areas that can work in my life, you know? So
Now thank you so much, Nydia. Let me ask you this. Before the healing and journaling webinar and before getting access to Tear Talk, did you write?
no. I will actually probably, if I did, like when I would write notes, maybe like one little sentence. So after like I took the webinar, it all started like this. Someone had got me really upset, like after the day I took the webinar, and so they got me really upset. So what I did, I grabbed the book, I grabbed my pen, and I just started writing. Like if it was like my angerness, you could say, like writing and writing and writing and writing. I actually wrote 3 pages. What, like, wow. Felt to me like I was like writing a book because I never wrote that much in my life. Like the report, mine would be like half a page. Sorry, that's the best I could do. And so when I went back to reading it, it helped me, like, even though I didn't fought or got an argument with that person, I was able to hold it in me, but I was able to release it to paper, because that's something I when I took your webinar, I say paper don't judge, and that's what
Yeah.
you could say whatever you want to it, and it's not gonna judge you, it's not gonna respond to you. Nydia, you're wrong. Nydia, you took the wrong action. Nydia, you made the wrong decision. You will know when your healing starts coming in, and like, wow, thank you, Lord, that you helped me. Even though I got really angry, but I was able to control myself and not get one-on-one with my coworker. So and then I said to them, you know what? I forgive you. If you thought it was my fault, I ask you to forgive me. And they're just looking at me like with this weird look. But I was like, okay, I just knew I had to forgive them. Ask them to forgive me if I did wrong, which I don't think I did, but just in case I did. But I really, really like new challenges are like now since this webinar, and I noticed my healing. There's more challenges happening in my life, and
Mm.
I've noticed that being able to self control myself more, and not be like, oh, the old me comes out of me. Like, no, no, Nydia, you're the old person you were before. You're changed, and you're not gonna be the same like yesterday. You're moving forward, and I constantly need to tell myself that, like, yeah, that's right, Nydia. You're new, Nydia. You're new, Nydia. Not the old Nydia, that angry beast that will go out. It's been really challenging, and this webinar and this journaling been like really, really good. So even helped me with my children, realize that I was really like, as a mom, that I was really strong on them because of the way I was brought up, just like screaming and going crazy with these, so I kind of brought it up to, I was trying to control myself, but like, okay, I guess the man was just stronger than me. But now my kids even like notice this. Even my 15-year-old, he's like, Mom, what's wrong with you? You haven't been screaming anymore. I'm so proud of your you change. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And my first
Wow.
tell me that, and we're talking about teenagers. I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, that they're even seeing the change in me.
Wow.
So that's a big like impact for me right there. Like, oh Lord, I'm doing something good, because for my child to come, and he's the one that has witnessed this more, like of my like you could say like struggles in my life, the hardest moments of my life, and like different areas since my womb, you could say. I would say that
Mhm.
he been receiving all that stuff like rejection and angerness. I had to break it off, cut it off, because I don't want my children to receive that, and especially not my children's children. So I'm praying over there and casting it out, and like no, they're not gonna receive that anger and that stuff that he received during my womb. It's gone. You know, just gotta declare it.
That's awesome.
Pray over my children's children.
That is awesome. And it's only been a month.
Yeah.
You've received a testimony like that from your teenage son, and it's only been a month of you journaling?
Yes. So it's been good. It's been helping me like emotionally, and it's been helping me like. And so I'm sorry because If you can't hear me, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So yeah, for my 14-year-old son to tell me that is like, wow, I know he sees a change in his mom, and that makes me so grateful to God. And I even have a special. I mean, because I know in the Lord, and He's done miracles in my life. And I mean, I have so many testimonies, but it's just like He has shown me how good He is. But now I can like see Him more, and I see Him closer to me. And after the journey, I remember like asking the Lord, okay, show me where I need to work in. And He was listening to me, and I even felt Him like clothe me. And that's something different that I have ever experienced before in my life, because He knows that I'm ready. Like I said, Lord, I'm ready for my healing. I'm ready. Show me those areas that are trying to hide, that the enemy is trying to
Mm.
not let me see. So, and I noticed that every day I get revelation, even like those gifts that I have in me, they become more
Mm.
anointing, and He sees allows me to see things that people don't want me to see, but God says, girl, you got
Mm.
those eyes, you better see it, and do something about it. And I start praying over it, and so I'm like, oh Lord, thank you, because I knew I have gifts, but not like this. So I'm ready for even the stronger
Mm.
anointing that He's gonna pour on me. Even if I have authority, my authority is gonna be stronger, my power is gonna be stronger, and it's just gonna be all God's will. I put it
Oh,
so continue to work in me, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for His plan.
awesome. That is so awesome. I am so excited for you just to hear how much has happened in just 30 days. It hasn't even been an official 30 days yet, but to see how transformational journaling, the level of impact. that it's had on your life in such a short period of time. I am so happy that you came on and that you were willing to share the impact that Tear Talk and the journaling webinars have had on you.
Yes. I want to share one thing. I encourage you people that are out there that think, oh, will not listen to me, because if he did, he will listen to me. He would have listened to me. This will never happen to me. Believe me, don't believe the lies of the enemy. He will come and try to hunt you down. And no, you say, you lying devil. No, not today, not no more. And get that book and take the webinar. I highly recommend it, because this is for you. And this is not a promotion of a Michael Kors purse. It's not. It's what God can do for you, what God can do for you. He did it for me. He did it not just for me, for a lot of people. He could do it for you. And that healing will come like you could never imagine. And God is powerful, and God wants to get hold of you. So come on, people. Really, this is not like a shoe promotion, nothing. This is God's healing here. And I pretty much, I think I'm done. Oh my God.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, Nydia, to come on and be with us and to just share how this has impacted you. And I look forward to hearing even more and even greater testimonies from your life.
Oh my gosh. Mashani.
Yep.
I'm right here at the theater, and this guy is like, man, he just talked to me. He's like, you're speaking it out. He must have found out anointing me speaking something. He's like, oh, I hear you speaking, and I'm like, okay, so what if I'm a like, I'm actually, I was at the theater, like, over here watching. I can only imagine, but the part I was able to see, it was good. So I was like, okay, I better get out before I miss this.
Okay, well, I'll let you go back to the movie because you got to finish watching that.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate Mashani and everybody for listening. Invitation, because I believe it was God's invitation, and I thank you for everybody for listening.
Okay, we'll bless you and we'll talk soon.
Yes, thank you, Mashani. Bye, guys. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I am so excited that we were able to have Nydia come and join us and share her testimony of how Tear Talk and the healing webinars have impacted her. And I am so happy that she mentioned, I don't know how to move that. I'm so happy that she mentioned, for those of this first time hearing my voice, you may want to check out the video that I did on the movie. I Can Only Imagine. I literally ran down the steps after the movie and I was bawling. Like, you guys got the real raw emotion of me seeing that movie. And that movie was so impactful to me because the movie had an aspect of the power of journaling, even though it didn't technically say the power of journaling. We have been impacted by something that came from a journal. And this is why I am so passionate on helping people to discover the power of the pen, because it's not just books that can come from journaling. It's movies that can come from journaling. It's songs that can come from journaling. It's creativity. It's inventions. It's witty ideas. It's business. It's commerce. It's so many things that can be activated when you discover and you find the power in the pen. I do not limit journaling to just causing everyone to become an author. No, it is so much bigger than that. But many times we will never understand how big it is until we pick up the pen. So I also wanted to bring one more person on, but it doesn't look as though I can add them.
to be on the broadcast, and I'm not sure why. Robert, if you can request to be on the broadcast, that would be helpful, because right now it's not allowing me to bring you on. So if you can send the request over, then I can bring you on as well. But there is so much power in the pen, and that is why I have birthed this book. And I literally birthed this book. It was not on my radar. For those who haven't heard the testimony, I've actually completed another book that is ready to go. I was in the process of putting another book together when I myself ended up having an encounter that brought a massive level of healing to my life that I was not expecting. And it came through an apology. And that apology just really impacted my life in ways that I still don't have enough words to begin to express. But the week of receiving the apology, I received the apology on a Sunday. On that Wednesday, I woke up one morning and it was like, pull out this teaching, pull out that teaching, put all of them together and write the book. Now, mind you, I'd heard the word Tear Talk maybe a week before, and I thought it was a catchy title, but I didn't know what it was. I just sent myself a text message when I heard it, but I didn't know what it was. So once I started putting my notes together, because I also have another journaling book in my computer that I started working on. So I just started putting different notes together, and I put with some help, I was able to put the book together and the written part of the book. And then it was just like, don't just talk to people about journaling. Help people get activated in journaling. So then it was just like, start writing prompts, just different writing prompts. And let me share just one or two writing prompts with you. And this is the thing, I don't want someone to think that this is an over-spiritualized book. It's really not. The writing prompts, some of them are spiritual, some of them are not, because even a non-spiritual writing prompt can lead to something spiritual. Like I have one writing prompt is this. I have some interesting ones, but some of them are to take you deep. But I can't make all of them deep because then people might not continue to write. But some of them will cause you to write more than others. So one day's writing prompt is this. If you could describe yourself as a biblical character, who would it be and why? Good evening. Another writing prompt is, how do you forgive? Another writing prompt is, what is your definition of success and have you arrived at success? And I'll just share one more. This writing prompt I absolutely love. It says, read Psalms 23, rewrite and replace my with your name. How does that make you feel? What does being cared for mean to you? Is there anything in the passage you feel you have been missing or not allowing the Lord to do in your life? There's 90 of them. You have 90 days. And one person who was reading through the book, they said it's like spending 90 days with God. It's like it just does something once you put that pen to paper. So if you haven't ordered your copy, please go to www.teartalkbook.com and you can order it directly. Okay, I have another guest that I want to bring on so they can share their testimony of taking the webinars and actually also reading. Okay, I have another guest that I want to bring on.
Hey, Robert.
Their testimony.
You might want to, if you can mute Because I can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So everyone, this is Robert Waring Sr. And I actually, I guess I should have did this for Nydia. Let me pause. Nydia Lopez, who was just on earlier, I actually know her because she goes to Regency Christian Center International with me. She's taking classes with me at church, and she's taking classes with me through my webinar. Robert Waring Sr., I actually met at the Write It conference in Orlando, Florida last year. And we've been connected on social media. And I thought it would be awesome to bring a guy on who actually took the healing and journaling webinar and who has really been doing a lot of the journaling entries in our private Facebook group. And I wanted him to be able to share his experience with the webinars as well as the book. So the platform is yours, Robert.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for, it is an honor to be invited to be on the share. Briefly, just to be transparent like I was with you, Mashani, initially, I was just sewing into your ministry. I was just sitting at the park one day. I mean, I've been following you for over a year now, and I was listening to Apostle Stevenson talk about sewing, and immediately your picture, your face came up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sew into her webinar. And so I sewed into the webinar. Not that I wasn't going to watch it because I would believe in being a good steward, but it was like, I don't necessarily need this. I'm not a journaler per se, so I'll just sew. But I tell you, from the moment the webinar started, it didn't surprise me because I've been following you for over a year. But the content, the way you delivered it, everything was just amazing. And then when we started with the prompts, yes, I'm a guy, and you know the saying that, you know, guys don't cry, this and that and the other thing. Most of the people who say that, obviously they haven't read their Bible or they don't know Jesus. But anyway, I think the first exercise in the prompt, I can't remember exactly what it was, but one of the things that I wrote about was, I guess, something that I wanted more than anything else was to knowing that someone knows that I genuinely love them. Mm. And it may have been either on Psalm 91 or it may have been Psalm 23rd prompt. And I just started crying. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, it's called Tear Talk, but I didn't expect to be breaking out in tears. And so there have been several writing prompts that have brought me to tears. And in fact, I was watching a movie, I think last weekend, and in a movie something happened where the guy goes to the little boy and because he taught him how to swing a baseball bat because his father wasn't in his life. And the boy is about to strike up, and here comes the guy that taught him and tells him what to do and coaches him through the last swing, and the boy hits a home run, and I'm sitting on the couch crying. I'm like, Lord, what's going on? But I know that I can attribute that tenderness in this season right now in my life to the writing. Wow. Because years ago, taking a biblical counseling course, one of the first things they taught us about is to be counselors, we have to make sure that we give hope, but we also assign homework. Mm. And by having journaling now, and because of what you've taught us through the webinar, it's like because we give homework so that we're supposed to take good notes so that we'll know how to pray for that counselee, but also know what homework to assign to them. Mm. So going through these prompts in Tear Talk and the webinar, it's like as I journal, I'm journaling what I need to pray about as well as what homework I need to assign myself. Wow. And it's just been amazing. It's like I'm counseling myself. Wow. So it's just been amazing. It's totally amazing. And even as I was driving earlier, I went to the park to do some writing, and I was thinking about tonight's launch, and I was driving past it.
I think we lost Robert.
I'm sorry. Are you still there?
Yep, we got you back.
Okay, so I was on my way home from writing, and at the park, and I drove past a church, and one of the thoughts that came to me, because how you say the paper doesn't judge.
Yes.
I think a gift that I sent you when you wanted some input on the poem, I sent you an ink pen, and it said love. And little did I know that hours later, as I was driving, the Holy Spirit would give me this image as the paper being the bride, the pen being the groom, and we, the writers, are the one that's performing the marriage.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. Now, there were times before I would just like, it would really wouldn't register with me. I wouldn't really think it was that important. But because of I've been following you as long as I have, and especially with this webinar, I see the things that God has given us, they're not random thoughts, they're not insignificant, but our words do have creative power.
Yes.
And we should document them,
Yes.
even if we don't understand it when we're writing it, even if we don't understand what we're writing, just be obedient and write it anyway.
Yes.
And it'll come to us. So yes, it's just been amazing.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for sharing the impact that it's had on you, especially from a male's perspective. Now, have you found that, now did you journal before, or did you step away from it, or how did that work for you?
Well, now I really haven't journaled much before because of the attack and the lies. Because there were times where I would write poetry, and it may even be one verse or two verses, and then 2 or 3 days I'll read it again, and hear the voice saying nobody would read that, or no, that's not going to make sense to anyone, and I would just ball it up and throw it away.
Okay.
But then there have been times where I would just be obedient and write out the whole poem, or just save it. I just type it out on a computer and just save the document. So I really haven't been, I wouldn't say a journaler per se, but since Tear Talk, I've been seeing the importance, because I see the impact, because it's opened up even in the book that I'm currently writing. I wake up, I take care of the things that I have to take care of, and then it's just me and the Lord and the laptop. And it's just amazing. So now I can say that I do journal. Before I didn't feel that. The writing project that I'm on seems different, because I know it's for someone else. But I'm learning that there's still some things that I'm learning. Whereas I felt if I journaled, that was just for me, so it wasn't important. But now I recognize that it's only as I'm healed that I can usher healing to others.
Awesome.
So yes, now I can say I journal now. I didn't think guys did that, but I think I shared with you last week. It just occurred to me one day as I was journaling, as I finished one of the writing prompts. It's like, wait a minute, Elijah, Jeremiah, John, they journaled. David, they journaled. So it is a guy thing. It's not just exclusive to the ladies.
It's a gender neutral thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter age. It doesn't matter sex. It doesn't matter race. Right. It's something that we can all benefit from. So
yes, definitely.
I so thank you for sharing how this has impacted you. And again, it hasn't even been an official 30 days since the webinar to the writing prompts, and just to hear how much of an impact it has already had on you is just amazing. And I just look forward to hearing even greater testimonies, and also look forward to hearing about the release of your book.
Okay, definitely. But thank you for all that you've done, and that I'm still growing from when you prophesied over me last year at the Writers Conference.
Awesome.
It's still having impact on me.
Awesome. Well, it's the power of words, and when they're inspired from God, they'll continue to birth something in you.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for joining, and we'll be talking soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. So I want to thank everyone a part of the book launch. I do want to share a few things with you that I'm going to be offering as a result of the launch. So Tear Talk is in production right now. The printing company is making copies as we speak. And deliveries will begin mid next week. So everyone who pre-ordered, they will be the first to receive the book. But with a book launch, you want to offer something for those who come on and who show support. So this is what I'm going to do. For everyone who orders today, for everyone who orders the paperback, and again, it's a simple website, teartalkbook.com. For everyone who orders the paperback today, I will be providing you with the free ebook. But that is today only. That's one gift that I'll be giving to everyone who orders the paperback book today. Again, you can go to teartalkbook.com. Everyone who orders the paperback, you will receive a free ebook from me. The other thing that I want to offer, because some of you, having heard me, having heard the two guests that I had, Nydia and Robert, share how the journaling webinar and then going through the Tear Talk book has had such an impact on their life, I want to offer the webinar to you as well as a discount. Now, this discount will run till the end of April 1st, and this is not a joke. It will run to the end of April 1st. And what this discount is, I've actually done 2 journaling webinars. The first one is called The Essentials of Journaling, and that's a 2-hour webinar with Q&A. The second one is called Healing Through Journaling, and that's another 2-hour webinar with an additional 30 minutes of Q&A. So it's a total of over 4 hours of webinar teaching, as well as the notes, plus a 30-minute Q&A. The price of that I will offer from now until the end of April 1st for $88.88, because the teaching helps to supplement the book. The teaching helps to charge and give you a greater understanding of the power of the pen. So when you get your Tear Talk book, you're ready to go and able to have the maximum impact by going through the journaling prompts. So if you want to order the book, you can go to teartalkbook.com. If you want to order the webinar, you can go to MashaniAllen.com. But you can also purchase the book at MashaniAllen.com also. I've just set up the web page, so it's easy for people to just go Tear Talk book and they can purchase the book. So this is what I want to offer. So share this video out with your friends, with your family. If you know someone who's in a very interesting season and they just need an outlet, you can even gift this to someone. If you want to purchase the book for someone and then I ship it to them, or if you want to purchase the webinar for someone, I can make sure that they get the information as well. So I just wanted to offer both of those as gifts and opportunities for you to help to activate the pen within. I like to say that the paper doesn't judge. And in our society, we are judged in so many sectors. But when it comes to putting that pen to paper or your pens to the keyboard, neither of those judge. And when you can find your pen, you can find your voice. And many times that's the missing link for people to fully walk into purpose, for people to fully walk into destiny, and for people to have a greater understanding of who they are in the earth. So I just want to offer these things to you to be a resource to help you become everything that God has created you to be. So I am so excited. This is the launch of the virtual book launch of Tear Talk.
a 90-day guide to healing through journaling. This is not just a book that I wrote. This is a life that I live. I have been journaling for a long time, and I have been activating people and finding the power of their pen. And I was just able to put it in a book to be able to help more people on a larger scale. So I thank you all so much for joining this webinar, or sorry, not a webinar, this virtual book launch. And I wanted to open the floor for questions. I wanted to be able to take a few questions, and then I will let you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. So if you have any questions regarding the book, if you have any questions regarding the webinars, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer those questions. We'll just take a few if there are any. While I wait for questions to come up, I also want to make the announcement. I've been sharing this. I'm just getting some things in place that I actually will become a book coach, helping people from beginning to end in writing books. Those who've never written a book, those who are in the middle of a book, those who are about to publish the book. I will have a full service company that will be helping people through that entire process. So look for more information to come regarding that just within the next few weeks. Now, did anyone have any questions? I wanted to open the floor for Q&A. Were there any questions? I'm glad that you guys are excited. I'm excited. This is my second book that I self-published. And my third book will be coming out probably in the summer. That will be self-published as well. It is quite the process, but it is a beautiful process. You're interested in me being your book coach? Awesome! Yay! The information is forthcoming. It definitely is. And regardless of where you are in the process of your book, I'll have a service that you can benefit from. Any questions? I am like so geeked. It is such an exciting thing to finish something. You know, that finisher's anointing is serious. And I'm just thankful to be a vessel. I'm thankful that God trusts me and he has entrusted me with this, because Tear Talk is more than a book. It's a movement, and it's really going to cause people to discover purpose. Is going to cause people to discover destiny. And the main thing for a lot of people is going to help them to discover God, not who people said he was, but who he actually is to them. And I can say for me, journaling helped me learn how to hear the voice of God. It really helped me to hear his tone. It helped me to discover his heart. It helped me to discover his purpose and his will and his plan for my life. A lot of who I am is a result of me finding my pen and journaling. And I will forever be an advocate of helping people find and discover the power of the pen, because it has more power than people even realize. And it's something that everyone can do. You don't have to have a certain level of education. You don't have to have a certain level of acumen. You don't have to have a certain type of vocabulary. It's something that everyone can do and they can benefit from. I mean, I've shared with people before, you know, there comes times when you need encouragement. And your friends may not be available, but I tell you, it's nothing like being encouraged from your own handwriting. It's nothing like writing something years or, you know, months prior, and you go back and look at it and your very own handwriting just blessed your life. And some of y'all may be like, well, what you mean by that? Think about it. When you look at your Facebook memories, how many of y'all can have a shout fest just based on a Facebook memory or a post that you made 4 or 5 years ago that just blesses your life. It's the same thing with journaling. Journaling is like a Facebook memory, only it goes back a little further because, you know, Facebook ain't been around forever. But it's nothing like looking at something in your own handwriting and encouraging yourself, something you wrote, a download you got, a revelation you received, a testimony you shared in your journal. There's nothing like it. How long did it take you to find your voice as a result of journaling? That is a very good question. I began journaling consistently in 2005, 2006. And one reason why I had to journal so much is because I dreamed so much. So for me, dreaming was the first gateway of me hearing and learning God's voice. So in dreaming, I began to understand my purpose and I began to understand my identity. And in understanding my purpose and my identity, and then being validated by God by the things that He was sharing with me, that helped me to find my voice. Because when you write things down, it causes it to be a little more permanent in your memory and in your thoughts. So for me, journaling was what I was able to use to combat the lies of the enemy, to combat depression, to combat discouragement, because I knew what was written about me. Like, just like the Bible says, it is written. When you journal, you are recording, you are establishing something in the earth regarding you, regarding other people. I mean, the writing is so important to the point that God had people write a book called the Bible. And a lot of the Bible is recording. So for me, what I tell people, when you journal, it's like saying thank you to God for your life. You know, every day we live a life, but when you journal, it's like, God, thank you. Thank you. Even if you don't journal something huge, the fact that you're taking time to say this happened today and that happened today, that's a way of saying thank you to God. So for me, journaling helped me first to express myself. It helped me to be able to write down my feelings, my thoughts, and my emotions without judgment. And I found that in being able to write my thoughts first on paper, it made it easier for me to express myself when it came to people, especially when it was hard conversations. Because with the paper not judging, I was able to write all the feelings, I was able to write all the emotions. And then when it came time to have a conversation, many times I was able to have conversation without the feeling and without the emotion to the degree that I initially felt it, because I was able to release it through my pen. So by doing the journaling, that helped me find my voice, because I found my voice through my pen without judgment, which allowed me to release my voice by speaking. And whether people received it or not, you know, for the most part, I had a peace because I wasn't judged when I initially wrote my thoughts. Great question. Are there any other questions? There's so much power. I think about this. When you read the Psalms, you see David with so many different emotions. You see David with so many different emotions. And the thing about it, we quote these Psalms, but you don't see God being mad at David for sharing his emotions. You don't see God being angry. I mean, he allowed those songs to be put in the Bible. To me, Psalms is like a journal.
And what I love, one thing I love about the Psalms, there are some Psalms, you know, David's writing, and at first he's upset and he's angry. But by the time he gets to the end of the psalm, he's praising God. He's thanking God. He's exalting God. He's extolling him for his goodness, his grace. He's blessing him. And that can happen to us when we journal. We can be upset. We can be angry. We can be mad. We can have all those emotions. And then in the middle of the writing, everything can shift. You can say, God, you know I was angry, but my God, I thank you that you hid me. Father God, I thank you that situation wasn't worse than what it was. Because journaling allows you to see things from another perspective, because you're able to reflect in a greater way when you're writing as opposed to just speaking. I hope that answered your question. I am very passionate about this, as you can see. Were there any other questions? Any other questions? Again, please go to teartalk.com and purchase the paperback copy of the book. Everyone who purchases today, you will receive the free ebook as well. And again, if you were interested in the journaling webinars, you can purchase those. I have them on sale for you. For $88.88, over 4 hours of teaching, training, and impartation on discovering the power of the pen, along with all my notes and Q&A for only $88.88. That is a steal. If you want to be activated, if you know someone else who needs to be activated with their pen, go to MashaniAllen.com under products and services. You can find the journaling webinar as well as Tear Talk, the book. Were there any other questions? This is just so cool. And I am so excited. Just look, for those of you who came on later, please go back in and watch this from beginning to end. How did you begin to determine that your journals needed to be categorized? Okay. So for those of you who have not heard, I am truly a modern day scribe, to the point where I have now probably over 20 different types of journals. So for me, my journaling started with just a daily journal. And at first I used to get, those little cute journals, but I was filling those up like in a month and a half or 2 months. So my journal then had to become 5 subject notebooks, which I fill up at least 2, almost 3 a year. But for me, I don't like to misquote when I share. And I would do a lot of counseling. So it will be challenging for me to go into a 5 subject notebook to try and look for something particular. So I had to begin to categorize my journals. And the first, so I had my sermon journal. So my sermon journal would be the notes that I took in church. But then I had another sermon journal, which would be the sermons from the revelations and the downloads that God gave me. And then, I got introduced to the prophetic. So then I had my prophecy journal, because I've had some really low seasons. I've had some really high seasons. So for me to go and get my prophecy journal and go through all the prophetic words, all the things that God has spoken over my life, and say, be it unto me according to thy word, after reading each prophecy, it was easy to go to one particular place and find all of that information. So then I just started to create, based on different things that were happening in my life, because it was easy to be able to go to one source and see everything that I needed. And that's how I began to categorize my journals. Do the journaling webinars help with writing a book? The journaling webinars help with any aspect of your life, because when it comes to the webinars, first of all, there's an impartation, but it also shows you the level of discipline that you need. And a lot of people, for me, this is my thought process.
I believe that a lot of people are called to write books, but a lot of people aren't disciplined to even write a book. So journaling helps develop a level of discipline, but it also helps develop a level of skill. Because when you have people whose voice has never been honored, whose voice has never been acknowledged, when God begins to tell them, hey, I have a book for you to write, they can be so nervous and like, God, I'm not equipped. You must be talking to someone else. But when you begin to journal, you begin to become comfortable with your own voice. And there's a boldness and there's a confidence that comes with you seeing your own voice in written form. And from there, many times journaling can then lead to writing books. I hope that answered your question. Because actually, my first book, The Beauty of Holiness, A Makeover from the Inside Out, that actually came through journaling. So let me share that testimony, since you asked the question. So the title, The Beauty of Holiness, was given to me when I was invited to speak at my cousin Tina's church in Detroit in 2009. So she had me come and speak at her church. And as I was preparing to speak, I used the concept of me being a makeup artist and helping people take care. If I can help people take care of their natural skin, then I can help people take care of their spiritual skin. And just as you have 5 skincare categories in the natural, dry, combination, sensitive, normal, or oily, in the spirit, you can be spiritually dry, spiritually sensitive, spiritually oily, spiritually combination, or spiritually normal. So that was the concept that I had when I did the teaching on the beauty of holiness. And just like you need natural skincare, you need spiritual skincare. So I had the whole parallel going on with the beauty of holiness. So after I did the teaching, when I came back to Chicago, when I was in Chicago at the time, I had so many notes. It was just like, this was more than a sermon. This is a book. So I started putting the notes together on the skincare categories. But then the following year in that January, I started hearing some really interesting titles. And I would just write them down. Are you a fragrance on odor? You're waiting on Boaz, but are you Ruth? Tiffany's versus Walmart. Truth versus deception. So I just started hearing these different things, and I began to journal my thoughts on those topics. Those topics actually are chapter titles in the book. And the journaling that I did, that's in the book. So journaling can produce books, it can produce movies, it can produce songs, it can produce businesses. The sky is the limit on what can be produced when you put the pen to paper. So yes, Beauty of Holiness is a result of journaling. And Tear Talk is a result of journaling. And my other book that I will be producing in the summer is also a result of journaling. So journaling can be the gateway to a lot. It actually can be the key. And I really believe it's the key that a lot of people, it's the missing key that a lot of people are looking for. Once they put that pen to paper, you will be shocked at what can be unleashed. And I'll take one more question if there are any more questions. And then I will let you all enjoy your Saturday. Were there any more questions? Thank you all so much for joining. Please share this out on your page. You never know who is looking for, and this is a very unique book because even when I began to research books on journaling, there aren't too many. So this is a niche, and I thank God that He helped me to find it because I'll be producing more content regarding this topic. Were there any additional questions? Thank you all so much for joining. Again, the website is teartalkbook.com, or you can go to mashaniallen.com. This is my passion. I love journaling. I mean, the Bible is a result of people recording. So that should tell you how important it is to write things down. Gonna give it just a few more moments. Thank you all for coming to my virtual book launch. I'm excited about it. Any additional questions? I've answered 3 so far. I can do 1 more. You're so welcome, Belinda. You're so welcome, Gloria. When writing a book, does it need to be a lot of chapters or is a few okay? You know what? That's the beauty of being of self-publishing, because when you self-publish a book, it can be whatever you want it to be. You are not limited. My books, like if I probably went through traditional, I don't know if I would be able to have the amount of poetry that I put in some of my books. This book is really comprised of writing prompts, so those aren't technically chapters. So it really depends on the message that you're trying to send that will determine the structure of your book. What do you think is the major thing that hinders one from journaling? I think one of the major things that hinders people from journaling is fear. For some people, it's the fear of someone discovering their journal. For other, it's the fear of writing down their thoughts and being able to express themselves. If you've been one who constantly was put in positions where your ideas didn't matter, your thoughts didn't matter, your voice didn't matter, you know, whenever you tried to speak, you were told to hush or to be quiet, or you talk too much. You know, if those are things that you've experienced, you know, you begin to internalize that, you know, and the thought of picking up a pen and beginning to write can make you feel like, I mean, why am I even writing? I mean, who's going to see it? I mean, what is it going to do? Is it going to do anything? You know, I mean, it's just my thoughts. My thoughts don't matter anyway. So, which is a lie of the enemy. So for some people, that's why Tear Talk is a good thing for them, because the writing prompts can give you a place to start, and then you can just flow from there. You know, some people fear the blank page, you know, because they don't know what could come of that page. So my desire is to cause them not to fear the page, but to embrace it, because it allows them to be able to use one of the attributes that God has given us, which is the ability to create. It's the ability to create. And for some people, the enemy has written one story for their life, but you know what? You can pick up your pen and you can begin to write another story. You can begin to find God's story and you can begin to write that. So, you know, I did have one other person who I see just hopped on, but I don't know if they're able to talk. But I did have a third person that I was going to use to be able to share how Tear Talk and the journaling webinars have blessed them. Let me see if they're available. Let me see if they're available, because I think that this would be really good if they can be available. But I don't know if they're in a position to be available. Thank you all so much for watching and for sharing. Jay, can you find out if they can be available?
I mean, if you guys, if there are any more questions, I can answer those. I'm trying to, because I don't want to do a whole webinar. But I do want people to purchase Tear Talk and to take the journey. I can say this: there was someone sent me an article that there are people who are really being advocates of helping children get healed from trauma. And the one thing about journaling is a way to help through the healing process of trauma. A lot of times we're told to suck it up. I don't know where we're supposed to suck it up to, but we're told to suck it up. And I mean, so that just has us internalizing, a whole lot of issues. And journaling helps us to be able to express, some things that we just aren't in a place to share out of our mouths, but we still need to be able to express our thoughts and our heart, and for me, that's what journaling has been able to do. So that's why I because a lot of us have experienced trauma in different ways. And for some people, if we share our life with people, they may think what we experienced wasn't a big deal. But for us, it could be very traumatic. So because some people have been judged when they've tried to share with, family members or friends or even people in the church, it's caused them to become isolated in their emotions. But journaling helps them to find that release and to find that freedom and to be able to express themselves. Because I really believe when you can express yourself with your pen, it helps you to be able to express yourself with your mouth. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining. I'm just going to make the announcement one more time. For those who purchased the paperback book today, I will be providing you also with the free ebook. For those who are interested in the journaling webinars, which I will have discounted till tomorrow, and it's not an April Fool's joke, for the 8888 for over 4 hours of instruction, teaching, and impartation, along with all of my notes and an additional 30 minutes of Q&A. You can purchase that by going to MashaniAllen.com. And just for those who have Tear Talk, for those who've ordered Tear Talk, for those who've gotten a glimpse of Tear Talk, share this out. Help people to know that there is a tool in place to help them find their voice. There's a tool in place to help them find their pen. There's a tool in place to help them to be able to release through Tear Talk. So I thank you all so much for joining. This has been such a blessing. I thank you all for all of your support, your encouragement, your inboxes, and for everyone who shared and even purchased the book. I pray that the journey that you take with Tear Talk will cause your relationship with the Father to go to a deeper level. I pray that it will bring clarity and understanding regarding your purpose in the earth. I pray that it will help you to uncover and unravel your mandate, the purpose for which you are in the earth. I pray that it will bring healing and restoration and deliverance. I pray that it will bring even closure. For some of you, you need closure in areas of your life, and discovering and finding your pen will help bring the healing that you need within. Thank you all so much for joining. Be blessed.